Hey yo.
What is going on, people? Four
Yo,
quarters. Oh shit! You know what? This just reminded me, y'all. I didn't even put the. There we go. But this is Falcons strictly right now. So I had to put the graphic on. Me and AG gonna discuss. This is like a little preview of the first quarter of the season. Since they add the extra game, it ain't evenly a quarter, but it's been 4 games. So we're gonna discuss what we see after these 4 games, and also give a preview of the next game coming up at home against Houston this Sunday. So before we get into any direct topics, hey Jizzle, my Nizzle, just give me your top of your head. What you're thinking about this team so far after these 4 games? Like, what's your thoughts?
so man, I'm gonna start out by saying this. Anybody with weak ears don't listen to me because you're gonna end up feeling some type of way about the team. But I feel like after 4 games, we kind of knew the games that we would be able to ride out win, even though we had to fight in those games. And we had a sense of the games that we would have to literally fight for our lives in, and we ended up losing those games. Um, my evaluation of the team as a whole, they're not really shook right now. I don't think anybody on either side of the ball is kind of shook, but I do believe that we are seeing that the offense is kind of losing traction of where they were when the season first started, due to the fact that people are starting to get more film on our team and how our offense operates. Um, our defense, you know, we've been holding our own the whole season so far. So I just want them to just keep getting production up, and the sack numbers, as Ryan Nielsen has said, will come. Uh, Jesse Bates is as advertised, of course. Um, he's worth every penny that we spent on him. So I can say that. Uh, nobody's really saying anything, but Young Way Cool, you got to make your kicks, bro. You got one job: kick the ball through the uprights, and that's it. You can't be missing extra points. We need every point we can get at this point for every game for the rest of the season. So um, I can just say I would right now we're playing at a C minus average.
I would agree with that, Greg. Yeah. So, I mean, just to really get right into the negative, I guess. I mean, the offensive negatives. Uh, what do you see as far as being the negatives on offense? Because it's a lot. Really ain't much to be really say about positive about this offense right about now. But like
Right.
after these 4 games, what would you say as negatives that you can just list out?
Um, I would really say the negatives are Desmond Ritter holding the ball too long. Our offensive line not creating the same holes that they were creating last year for the running backs. Um, and our receivers aren't as shifty as they were in past years where they were able to get separation. So we have a lot of stronger receivers. So, I mean, they're not really, most are getting open, but when they get open, the catch and traffic rate on a lot of our receivers is kind of low. I haven't really seen that many good contested catches, but at the same time, some of that falls on the quarterback being able to get the ball to them in those contested areas or in the area where only he can get it while still being contested.
Yeah, I mean, like this offense, man, it's just not really clicking right now. Like the run game is there, maybe not as like strong as it was last year, but it's I mean, considering we have no balance for real, I would say it's there. If you look at this graphic here, we I believe that's 10th. I believe this is total yards. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're 11th right now in the league in total yards rushing. So I mean, the run game is the positive, but when you click over to the passing game, I mean, we can just go off of yards. Yeah, this ain't good. I got to. We third
all the way down
from the bottom. You feel me? Like we third from the bottom in yards. So, that's not good at all. Scoring wise, I'm pretty sure we're total touchdowns. I'm pretty sure we're close to the bottom as well. Let's see where we at. Yeah, bottom half of the league. So it's just like the offense is not producing enough at all. Like you say, I believe it is like Ritter is part of the problem. The line's part of the problem. Like you said, the receivers we have like big body contested receivers, but we're not even getting them to that point of even having those opportunities because if it's the spacing in the route concepts as a whole, what Arthur Smith's calling, like the whole offense, bro, like I can't even nitpick and put it on one person because at the end of the day, it's a unit. And if somebody messing up, it's going to trickle down and affect everybody. So it's the whole unit as a whole, really, right now, that's not doing what they need to do.
Right.
As far as positives, if you can will your way to say anything, right? If you can find anything positive really about this offense right now, I mean, I guess you could say the run game, even though it hasn't like been as strong. The run game, Bijan Robinson, like he's
as advertised.
Yeah, he's been as advertised. But other than that, I really can't think of too many positives. Like the only good offensive game we had really was the Green Bay game in the second half. Other than that, I haven't really seen anything from this offense.
Right. And one thing I can say is like the fact that Bijan is literally producing for us is being overshadowed by our L's. And it's like we can't keep getting first round talent on offense. And like our first almost 100-yard receiver was Jonnu Smith last week. He had 97 yards receiving. Nobody knew that, but he had 97 yards receiving. And Bijan went over 100 yards rushing. And it didn't look like it because our offense just kept going 3 and out, turnover, 3 and out, and then finally scored a touchdown. But it's in garbage minutes, so it's not like it was when we needed the score the most, we couldn't do it.
Yeah, the slow starts is definitely throwing us off for real. Like we're not really built to play from behind, and then it's like when you're trying to be a balanced type of team, especially when you're a run first type of team, it's like there's only so much running you can do when you're behind. So, getting into the next topic, do you think it's the scheme that's messing up the offense, or do you think it's more so the execution? Because, like me personally, sometimes it can go hand in hand. Like I see a lot of people think everything is on Coach Smith or whatnot or the offensive staff, but it's like I can think of like 5 plays off the top of my head where it's like we had a chance to get a positive play off of it, but players just not executing. Like even if you look at the past game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, like the 2 picks that Ritter threw, that was his fault. Like the route concepts maybe could have been a little better, but at the same time, it's like he had somebody open. Because if you go back and look at the first pick he threw, I believe the pick 6, he had somebody open on Matt Collins up on the flat route, and also it's like Terrence Mathis had did on his little breakdown. He was like the route that Drake London ran. He should have kind of angled it more positive for his quarterback to be like put it on him instead of letting the cornerback cut him off. Then the second pick he threw is like Kyle Pitts was the open guy, but he tried to. Well, the safety drove on Kyle Pitts, but it was like the route concepts really wasn't all that because Drake London kind of was running like a corner route. And the safety didn't bite on it because the corner had already had him. So I just feel like even the Matt Collins like post route that we had, he had a step on dude, and Ritter just underthrew the ball, and that almost got picked off. So it's like we've had plays. The Lions game in the first quarter when we took the shot to Pitts and he was open and it was incomplete. Like we've had shots, you know. I mean, it's like the red zone really hasn't been all that good either.
Nope.
So, but then that it does come down to like you say, the O-line. Like the coach can't really go out there and scheme out a way for these guys. He can, but it's like at the same time, bro, sometimes you gotta drop your nuts and pass block.
Right.
Just stand in there and block somebody, and the pass blocking has not been good at all.
Right.
And then like another thing, like he can't really scheme extravagant like extravagant game plan for Ritter because he's still kind of coming into his own. So I doubt he really can give him the whole playbook for real. So what's your take on it? Do you think it's more so the scheme, or do you think it's the execution that's holding the offense back?
When it comes down to the offensive side of the ball, I believe that the scheme is like the scheme is there because he's given us he's shown us his scheme for 3 years now. And Arthur Smith's scheme shows you what the defense is doing before the ball is snapped. And with Ritter being the type of quarterback where he's predetermining everything that he does before the ball is snapped, it gives him less of an opportunity to actually read and see who's open. He gives himself less of a chance to be successful because he's staring down the receiver that he wants before the play starts. And then when the ball is snapped, you automatically see his eyes going over to where he's getting ready to throw the ball at. I think he's a little bit too comfortable with Drake London forcing the ball to him. And it's like there's only so many times you can force the ball to the receiver before the defense is like, okay, bro, he's going to throw it to him all the time. He hasn't even looked this other guy's way. And like, bro, you didn't have Pitts last year and you was throwing it to Pruitt. You showed that you can still throw it to the tight ends. Now you don't want to do it. I know Kyle Pitts isn't 100% back from that knee injury, which could also help like play a factor in his progressions or whatever. But there's been plenty of plays, interceptions included, where I've seen other receivers open besides Drake London. And it's like Drake London is that big body. He can go up and get it over a couple guys, but you don't want to force him to do that every play. There are other guys like Mac Hollins, Scott Miller, Jonnu Smith, as you plays when they get the ball and can get yards after the catch. I can't put it on Arthur Smith like that because Arthur Smith has played conservative in some ways, giving him max protection, and he still holds the ball longer than he has to. And it's like when you have a quarterback that's in his 8th or 9th, 10th start in the league, and there's 17 games in a season, you're going to give him those few games to say that he's had a full season in the NFL so that you can make your complete evaluation. But like, I still don't think like you have to baby Ritter anymore. They don't want to baby him. They want to take the training wheels off and see, can he handle the real NFL pressure, real NFL play calling? Because if you can't, hey, we just might have to make that decision to put a more seasoned veteran in that can at least get the short intermediate game going, and that helps jumpstart the offense in a sense. I can't really point the finger at Arthur Smith, but at the same time, Arthur Smith has to know, like, you can only lose so many games before people either start not coming to these games, they either start rooting against your team, start getting booed at home. And I don't even care about on the road. You're going to get booed on the road regardless because you're the away team. But being booed at home by your own fans and not being supported by your own fans is another thing, because when you lose support from a city that's hungry to win, it's gonna demoralize the team and the veterans that came to this team because of the city being so hungry.
Yeah, this Sunday definitely gonna get ugly if he don't get it together. But we're gonna talk about that later. I'm already expecting it because the fans are already on edge with him anyway. Like, he don't got that long of a leash inside this fan base.
Right. But, and not only that, the ticket prices are showing me that it's gonna be one of those games where it's probably not gonna be that many people there. The lowest ticket I seen was $26.
Well, we ain't really playing on marquee team anyway, though. Because what was the home game we had? Bryce Young was the first season opener. Then we had Green Bay. So out of them three, it's like you kind of would drop it for Houston the most.
Yeah.
And hopefully that just means that it's a home field advantage and we got more people there. I think that should we undefeated at home, so folks should still have a good morale about going to the game. We only 2-2. There's no reason to really give up on the team or whatnot.
Right.
But like you just brought up a point though of like, because one thing I noticed about this offense, like how you said, we don't have much speed. So it's like defenses is they depth in their zone is, they dropping back like 7-12 yards max because they not scared of nothing going over their head. But it's like we did sign a dude who can run in Scotty Miller, but it's like he's not getting any snaps for real. I'm not understanding his usage like that. So if they don't trust him to put him out there or whatnot, hell, just put him out there and have him run a deep route and just throw it. Even if it's overthrown, like you still putting the thought of the head in the head of the defense, like, okay, they will throw the ball deep. Because even Jimmy Ward from the Texans, the safety, just got interviewed about our offense. And he said, I don't think they're trying to throw the ball. Like, nobody is respecting our passing game right now, and that's why you see these corners breaking on the ball super duper fast. So at least I'm not seeing the boot game, the rollout, the play action rollout. Like, I'm not seeing that in the play calling right now. That's the one gripe I do have about the play calling. Like you did say, trying to take the training wheels off with him, but honestly, it's like you said, you trying to win a division this year. So Arthur Smith got to realize no matter how much you want to evaluate this guy, at the same time, it's not really that long of a leash compared to last year.
Right.
Which I think he should have been in last year, and he probably would have been more also developed than now. But like you said, dude, only nine games into his career. So it's like, are we really trying to say what he is or what he isn't already? Which isn't fair, but in the business he's in, the team you're playing on dependent, they might be ready to move on faster than what you're moving on. Because we got more money this offseason. We upgrade the roster. We're not going to keep waiting on him to develop. Like, we need to do it there. We can do some serious damage. We get a quarterback to know what he's doing back there. So I think he's still old. Like, these next 2 games will be huge for him. But he needs to step it up, definitely. Like, I think it's on his shoulders, in my opinion, because I've seen plays, like you said, where guys are open and he's just not making the right read. Like, I can't put everything on Coach Smith, or like my advice is just lean on the run game, but it's pissing me off because the defense is holding guys to 20 points, 23 points, and whatnot, and the offense can't even. Like, man, if we would have had that type of defense 4 or 5 seasons ago, that's all we ever asked for. Now we got it. Now the offense do what they need to. It's like, man, we get one thing and you lose the other.
Yep.
But speaking about the old man looking guy, what I mean, I don't know what your confidence in him was beforehand, but where do you stand with him right now? Because a lot of people who didn't see him as the guy are definitely not seeing him as the guy. A lot of people not seeing him to even finish the season, especially with Heineke being one of the highest paid backups in the league. So what's your thoughts on him right now?
Right now, I can say I was real high on him as far as like coming into the season because of what I've seen in those sample size 4 games. But I did like after he broke his streak of pass attempts without an interception, you kind of seen the real Desmond Ridder start to step forward a little bit. I'm not saying that he is what he is going to be for the rest of his career right now, but you can see the drop off in a lot of what we were doing. Like his pass attempts are going up, and that's only because we're down. Like you see in the first game we won by 14 points. We only passed the ball 18 times. But you see that W right next to that every time. And then you see the 32 times against Green Bay where they were stuffing the run only because they have a good front 7. And then you still see the W over there. But, like, we only passed the ball 32 times. 30, 38, and 31. And then you see the numbers next to him. It's like, wait a minute, man. You're kind of throwing yourself away. He was sacked 7 times in the third game. 4 times in the last game, and the sacks that he's taking is like they're avoidable sacks, man. Like you have the mobility to get your ass out the pocket, bro. Get out of the pocket. Stop trying to stand in there and be the stand tall, take the hit, and throw it down the field type of guy, and get out of the pocket. Yes, people in the NFL are faster, but that's why you slide and you get the yards you can get, and you leave it alone. Because at the end of the day, you see his rushing attempts against the Jaguars. He ran out of the pocket 1 time. You ran out of the pocket against the Lions 2 times. You ran out of the pocket 1 time versus the Panthers, but we made good adjustments in the second half. I can't really speak on that part. But You ran out of the pocket versus the Packers 10 times for 39 yards. Why can't we get him some more RPOs? If the RPOs is going to work for him and he's able to determine what he can and cannot do off of a run pass option play, why not add more? And I'm not gonna lie, I've been seeing every single week that the Falcons are running the same plays. It's just different people in different positions in every play. But if you have a winning recipe of running RPOs, all you have to do is just have a different shift, a different motion, or something that's going to throw the defense like, okay, this looks the same, but he's doing a boot action off of this, or this look like a stretch play, but it's a toss to the other side, or the counter run play that Bijan always seems to get 6 to 8 yards off of a pop. It's like you running plays that help you, but you're still running the same plays that people are stopping you on, and it's not helping the offense. It's hindering them because now you see we have a dominant side of the line and we have a dominant guy on one side of the line. Like, we have a good, strong left side. I haven't seen Matthew Bergeron get Ritter sacked or get him hit every play like Jalen Mayfield did his first year in the league.
Yeah, hell no.
But I've seen Caleb McGarry just allow people to run past him. And it's just it's like it's crazy because we try our best to back our quarterback one and give him the support that he needs. But when we go out there and we watch these games and we see them like do what they do, and it's not even the fact of losing, it's how you're losing. You're losing because your quarterback doesn't want to get out the pocket. We're losing because we don't want our quarterback the quarterback doesn't want to get the ball out of his hands. And it's like decision making in that clock has to go a lot faster in his head. It has to. It's not fair to the rest of the team and the rest of the guys that's actually doing their job on offense if he's just going to hold the ball and try to force it to Drake London all day. There's more guys out there besides Drake London.
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head when you say his clock needs to be faster. Like, I don't think he's trusting what he's seeing or he's not understanding what he's seeing. Like, but from what we heard, it was like he has the smarts to understand what he's seeing. So my thing is like I'm not understanding the hesitancy. If you drop it 3 steps, you got to do open, but you're hitching, you're doing an extra hitch. Like, let the ball go, man. Like,
yeah,
them the type of decisions or picks I can pass breakups I can live with. If you think you saw what was open and the dude just make a play on the ball, but it's like when you do these plays where you staring it down, or I don't know, like the passing game as a whole is just not in sync, and I think Ritter is kind of a fault of that with his inexperience. But like you said, I think Arthur Smith is kind of trying to be too smart in the sense of not using him like he's mobile. Like, we should be using him the same way Mariota was being used last year. Like, he has the ability to. He might not be as athletic as Mariota just because he's mobile. Doesn't not necessarily mean he know how to navigate a pocket once it's pressure. But at the same time, it's like move the pocket, do RPOs, do rollouts. Like, it's other stuff we could be doing, especially with a strong run game. But it's like teams, bro, they just selling out on the run. They're not respecting the pass. So it's like we're gonna have to get some type of balance.
Exactly.
These 2 home games is gonna be huge for him because like he undefeated at home. And obviously, the 2 home games that he played early on the graphic, that was his 2 better games of the season. So it's like these 2 games gonna be huge in his development to see how he bounced back. I mean,
and my thing is this. Hey, look though, my thing is this: you play those 2 hard teams. Now you play a team that's coming in with the same record as you. And then the following week, you play a team that has a great front 7 again, just like Green Bay did when they came in. What do you do?
Yeah. I was saying it's not going to get no easier, bro. And the more, like you say, the more the tape and the more the film get out there, it's not going to get easier at all. Moving along side. Do you think Coach Smith is on the hot seat? Me personally, I don't think he is at all. Like, definitely they want to make it to the playoffs, but don't see him getting fired after this season at all. But I could see if such a scenario where they don't make it, definitely next season he's gonna be coaching for his job.
Yeah.
But
So
I don't see how he could get fired after this season.
right. And honestly, with the presentation that he and Arthur and Terry Fontenot presented to Arthur Blank before they were hired, they're in year 3 of a 3-year plan that they already had set. I think the 1 to 3 year plan was to reset the money in the bank, get us more money to supply the offense and the defense. Year 1, we supplied the offense. Year 2, we supplied the offense. Year 3, we supplied the defense. But I think where the flame is ignited, because Arthur Smith's not on the hot seat, but he's on the seat in a sense. He's on a seat right now. He's not on a hot seat, but he's on the seat. But the only thing that can light the flame under him is if he's stubborn enough to keep Desmond Ridder in if he continues to show like he's not ready to play.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that really can kill him for real is if he ride out with Ridder. And because honestly, these next 2 games would be the least I give him.
Yeah,
because I mean, you about to have 2 more on the road after this. It's not even a matter of him losing. It's just the fact of his development not looking like he's getting any better to me.
right.
So I'm saying like he need to come out these next 2 games, no turnovers, less sacks, and more touchdowns, or just operate the offense. Like that was all we asked for him in the starting was just be a league average quarterback. You don't have to be the best in the league. Just don't be the worst. And right now he's operating as the worst. And we just got too much on offense for him to be operating like that. But moving on to the defensive side of the ball, y'all need Justin. We're gonna get to that in a minute. What do you see as the defensive negatives? I mean, because me personally, I feel like only thing I really can say is a little more turnovers and some more sacks is what I would want for this defense. But other than that, I don't really see no negatives along with the defense. The run game, front 7 was kind of a little thing at first, but they getting that together now. So I like what I see out of the defense.
Yeah, I can also say the same thing. I like the defensive front and how we're doing. I just think we could get a little bit more mix up as far as who's out there on the defensive line, just because you don't want everybody to be like, okay, they got Calais out there, they got Grady out there, they got Anyamata out there, they got Bud out there. That's their main package, and we know when they bring them out here, ain't nobody blitzing because they feel like everybody can win a one-on-one matchup. You want everybody guessing. I want to see a splash of Ebiketie out there, a splash of D'Angelo Malone or something. I don't think I've seen Malone the whole season yet. Like mix it up just a little bit, but at the same time, I know Ryan Nielsen is a deep defensive lineman whisperer. So if he's not playing certain guys, it's because he knows that they're not going to produce, or that he's trying to see what he has in his defensive line before he makes that drastic change. Like you said, we're in the first quarter of the season right now, and with that being over, it's like, okay, it's time to turn the page and try something else that'll still help us stay at the top of where we are as far as defense goes, because defense is going to win the championship. Defense keeps the offense out of the end zone and keeps your offense fresh and right back on the field. But it's been too many times where our defense gets guys off the field and the offense just doesn't do anything. So that kind of tears down their morale as like, am I doing my job right? Like I could have sworn I could have got him off of the field, and I'm right back out here again. Now your defense is in a sense tired, running the 80 out of 100 plays that are played in an actual game, and it's like you're tiring those guys out, but you expect 110% from them every single week, and the offense ain't pulling their weight. That's my only negative that I can say.
Yeah, I'll just shift it along, moving towards the positives, like you said beforehand in your analysis about the team. Jesse Bates lead the league in interceptions right now. As y'all see, tied for the lead with 3. So can't really fault Jesse Bates for anything. Jesse Bates accounts for all our turnovers because he also got the forced fumble that we got.
Right.
If you go to team stats, passing wise, we're allowing one of the worst, but we're doing the best completion percentage. You see, we're in the bottom half of the league, only allowing 62.7%. And then yards per attempt, I believe we were close to the bottom of the league or top of the league as well. You see, we right here, only allowing 5.6 yards per attempt. That's top 10 right there as well. Then if you look at yardage, once again, top 5, only allowing 705 yards a game. So I mean, the defense passing wise, bro, without Okuda being out there just for one game, is doing what they need to do. Rushing wise, we had that bad first game against Carolina, so the numbers kind of off a little bit. But even rushing wise, we're getting a little better. So you see, we moving up, kind of right in the middle. But it's been improving. And then scoring wise, oh no, never mind. This is touchdowns and stuff. I thought this was how many points we allow. But I think we one of the top scoring defenses as well in the league.
Yes.
So it's just the sacks, bro. The sacks and the turn more turnovers could what I would say.
Yeah. And I think that those also go hand in hand though, because the more sacks you get or the more quarterback pressures and hurries you get, the more off balance throws off the back foot, or throws where you think somebody just gonna be open, or throws where the quarterback just wants to get rid of the ball and not get sacked, that those turn into interceptions. So I do think that's where also the versatility comes in, because you don't want Calais Campbell, a 16-year veteran, out there trying to chase a mobile quarterback and he gonna get outran every time to the outside.
Yeah, I think Calais is getting too many snaps from the outside in pass situations. Like you said, D'Angelo Malone and Ebiketie, or even Dupree and Carter, them need to be the 4 just rotating on the outside. Calais Campbell I don't know. I just feel like that's not your best 4 in a pass rush situation.
It's not.
I'm not really seeing him get that much pressure on the edge. The pressure rate that we got is there. So it got to turn into sacks eventually. Anyamata and Grady in the middle are doing what they need to do.
Yep.
And even we've had plenty of sack opportunities, or moments where we get to the quarterback right before he releases the ball. But it's man, at this point in the league, damn near every quarterback is mobile. So guys will have to learn how to come in under control and really just get the sack, because we can't afford to you come in fresh for a sack and he sidesteps you and then he throws a touchdown. We can't keep having players like that.
Right.
But with the team being at 2-2, what would you put your meter at 1 to 10? Where your meter at right about now?
I'm gonna put the meter right there where that record is at 500 at 5. So I'm in the middle, man. It can go down and it can go up depending on this game this weekend. The next 2 games really can shift the confidence for me. But I feel like as a Falcons fan, you always want to be that 10 out of 10, come back again type of fan. But you lose confidence when we as fans know what we need to do to win the game, and you see a total different game plan or a total different mindset from the coaches and or players on the field. And with me now coaching now, it's I hope to one day be at the next level of football, so I can have a bigger impact on hey, this needs to happen so we can win. This needs to happen so we can win. And it's when you see that your coach knows what to do, but you don't see the execution from the players, it's where's the disconnect? Where's the disconnect at? Where are we missing? Okay, give the ball to Bajan, give the ball to Tyler, sneak a pass right here to Kyle, sneak a pass right here to Drake, and try to get the ball downfield so we can keep getting at least 5 to 6 to 7 yards per play. And next thing you know, we don't even touch a third down until, a defense can really stop that. And I think like at 2-2, it's not the end of the season. It's not like we're about to tank and about to go ahead and get Caleb Williams. So please don't get that in y'all's heads. That ain't happening. We have to look with a level eye of, okay, we still got a young season and a young team at the same time, but we can't just say all out like, hey, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're doing this, we're doing that, and can't nobody stop us here, because the 2-2 record is showing. Like the 2-2 record shows, okay, first two games it was the leftover energy from last year. These next two games show, can you keep this level of energy that y'all had from last year? No, you can't. But it also falls on the different ways we've played and how the plays are executed on offense and defense. We've seen the defense tighten up on teams and get key stops when it's time for the offense to go ahead and win the game and go get points to win the game. But we haven't seen we've seen the defense get the ball, get off the field the next drive, and the offense just come out there and say, well, we tried, and it's another 3 and out. And now the defense back on the field after only 3 plays of rest. Now you expect them to have the same amount of energy, which throws the game plan off, because now it's like, do I put the same package out there that it just got me to 3 and out? Or do I shake it up? And then when you shake it up, you got fresh legs out there. So now it's like, okay, these guys have to get warmed up and get their hits in as well. So you can't just put all the pressure on everybody. Like they're shifting the pressure, so to say. At 2-2, the pressure on each side of the ball has been shifted. Now it's on the offense to produce.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where you at with me?
Coming into the season, it's like you look at the game like this stretch of the schedule, like, okay, Houston at home, Washington at home, then on the road with Tampa and Tennessee. You look at that part of the schedule, like, okay, cool. But now it's like, man, the way we looking and the way that Houston looking, is like, I don't look at that stretch no more as if, like, bro, we got to win these games. Like, we gonna have to fight now. This ain't no walk in the park no more, bro. We haven't really spanked nobody all season except for the first game. And honestly, we didn't even spank them. Like, it was just a nasty type grounded out game.
Yep.
But like I said, with the starters not playing in the preseason, let's just say they use them 4 games as their preseason. Now we need y'all to show some type of elevation from them first 4 games. It cannot keep looking the same way that it's been looking. Like, it got to start looking different, because if it looked the same, that just means all the pregame, all the post-game interviews y'all do, y'all say y'all doing this, and we know we need to change this. That means y'all not doing nothing to work on it if nothing is changing. Because that either mean the coaches ain't implementing a different game plan or implementing what y'all need to fix, or that mean the players don't care enough to work on what they need to work on to fix whatever is going on.
Right.
So, yeah, my confidence, like you said, I'm back at like a 6. Because even in the games we won, we really haven't looked that good. Right. Like the record is what it is, and I don't try to be that type of guy, but what it is, like, it just is what it is. We haven't looked that good. So, previewing the next quarter, game of the next quarter, we got Houston coming up. Like I said, this ain't the pushover type game that we thought it might have been. Ooh. But CJ Stroud coming into town real hot. I think he top 5 right now in passing yards in the league.
Mm-hmm.
They won their last 2. We dropped our last 2. I know they struggle against the run, so that should just be food for us right there. But they top 4 in passing yards a game. Our pass defense has been strong, so it's going to be strength on strength. So Where do you see this game going? Where do you think we need to attack? What do you think they're gonna do to attack? Because I think this can be potentially a shootout type of game.
Yes. Shout out to CJ Stroud and the Texans, man. They've came into the season with a chip on their shoulder. and they have a new vibe, new coach, new quarterback, new defense. Everything is new in Houston. It's not the same Houston team that everybody just circled on their schedule like, okay, we already know that's going to be a win. We can put our backups in and still beat them. That's not the same. I do think that we need to come into the game with the mentality to run the ball first. Once we run the ball, establish the line of scrimmage, have them on their heels, knowing that we're going to run the ball, then we sneak the pass in. On defense, which I think Ryan Nielsen does a good job of this, make your rookies look like rookies. Give him something different to look at every play. The fact that we fail to do that against some teams, like we fail to make the quarterbacks look how they're supposed to look. We make them look like superstars, like they've been in the league for 10 years sometimes. And it's like it's fair to say, but then it's unfair to say because Ryan Nielsen has been holding his own and making sure this defense makes adjustments. Even after halftime, they come out stronger and shutting people out in the second half. I do think that the offense has to come out with a better mindset of hit them in the mouth first. So deferring on the opening kickoff might not be what you need to do. You might not need to defer. You might need to get Desmond Ridder out there right now, get the offense churning, get them boys started, and score first. Because every game that we've played in, we've either just kicked the field goal or they've scored a touchdown first.
So we've been 3-and-out every game on the first possession we get the ball. Literally, all 4 games we've been 3-and-out.
And I've never seen a team be able to keep up with another team when you consistently go 3-and-out. We went 3-and-out on 7 consecutive drives last game. 7. That's if you do the math, that's 7 times 7. How many points is that we could have scored? On 7 different drives, you go 3-and-out. Man, when you touch the ball that many times,
on half of them at least.
Yeah, exactly.
Different context on what it was.
And then it's still like this. You touch the ball that many times in a game or in a series of drives, you're supposed to come away with some type of points. And we can't keep putting the pressure on our defense to stop folks because they're doing that. The offense has to step up this game. We have to put our foot on their necks from the start to the finish. Like I said, I don't plan on losing my voice this game because I still have to be able to function during the week and be able to have folks hear me. But I do expect it to be loud in Mercedes-Benz, but I want it to be loud when the defense is on the field. I don't want to hear the Houston folks being louder than us as far as when our offense on the field. It feels like a third down on an away game. But maybe that's what it needs to feel like for the offense to be like, hey, bro, we got to step it up so it's a little bit quieter in here when we get the ball on offense.
Yeah, I definitely think, like you said, offense need to get going faster. Like Dave were gone, Arthur Smith, Ritter, they all spoke about getting going faster. Like, stop putting yourself in these holes of trying to play from behind and you can't do your game plan now because I just don't understand the I don't know if it's unpreparedness or what, because you come out, everybody know the first 15 supposed to be scripted. Like, we can't even get into our first 15 because we can't even get a first down. Like, you are going
the first 3 plays.
3-and-out every game. That's bad. Like, man, at least get 1 first down. At least play field position game with the punter and get to the 40 or 30 so we can flip field. Like, at least get a first down. To go out there and can't get 1 first down, 10 yards. You can't get 10 yards, bro. It's like you said, they will have to come out and run the ball, bro. If we playing a team that struggles against the run, first of all, I don't really care who we playing at this point.
Right.
The run is a strength for us. But if you come out and you play a team who's visibly on the stat sheet bad against the run, bro, you have to punish these folks. They're going to come out and stack the box and do what they need to do to try to stop it because they know it's a strength and they know they're not good against it. But we're gonna have to come out, like you say, hit them in the mouth, bro, because at this point, teams are not respecting our passing game. They're not respecting our quarterback. Nothing. Fucking bug. One interesting like statistical thing about this game is I know like Ryan Nielsen like to run a lot of man. CJ Stroud is a top 2 quarterback in the league right now against man, his passer rating. And honestly, ironically enough, the 2 quarterbacks that's both at the head of the list are both rookies. So you got CJ Stroud at the top of the list with a 139 passer rating against man.
Oof.
Anthony Richardson is second with 135. So let me bounce it back to you. Pause. And if you're Ryan Nielsen, do you come in and you say like I'm gonna play my strength because they haven't played us, or do you throw more zone at them and throw them a different look? Because I think flooding the zone against a rookie quarterback and making him have to see what he's seeing and actually fit it into those windows might serve well. But play zone is like you're gonna have to get some type of pressure. You feel me?
Yep.
Because when you play,
this is where Ryan Nielsen has to be the game-changing guy in this game. He has to be that guy that's bringing pressure from different angles, so he doesn't know where the pressure is coming from. Disguising the defense will be key in this game. If CJ Stroud, bro, he was the most NFL-ready quarterback coming out of the draft, so he's seen a lot of different things already in his first 4 games that he'll probably end up still seeing for the rest of the season. But if you're Ryan Nielsen, you disguise the man with zone looks and the zone with man looks, and you make CJ Stroud be a veteran quarterback mentally, as opposed to letting him play to all his strengths and being a reactive type of defense where you just reacting to see if he's going to run the ball or not, or just throw the ball.
Man, we play man. Can we just please spy or keep a dude in the pocket? I was so tired of seeing Trevor Lawrence run out the pocket last week, bro, when we had good coverage. Jordan Love, like Bryce Young, all these quarterbacks we played, even Goff got a read option on the goal line. But it's like, man, if you got to know when you play man coverage, the dudes is going to be – it make the running lanes easy to run for a quarterback.
Right.
We got to keep them bottled in. But honestly, I like the matchup. It's a good test because, like I said, he's the man against man coverage right now. We like to run a lot of man, so it should be a fun little chess match. Offense need to get going, and you playing a team that's struggling against the run, and you probably playing a team that doesn't respect the passing game. Like they asked DeMeco Ryans about Ritter, and he says he's surrounded by playmakers. What that's saying to me is I don't want to say nothing. I have nothing to say about dude, but I'll talk about dudes around him. So Ritter already knew the disrespect was there around the league, but only person that can change that is you, my guy.
Yep.
So if you don't, you feel like if you don't like the disrespect, you got to do something about that. Off and pass blocking, bro. Will Anderson, bro, please don't let this man have a breakout game. Hey, look, McGarry, I'm looking at you, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
But the offensive line as a whole, we got to do better with pass protection. And the passing game got to be better. Like Ritter has to have a breakout game these 2 home games, bro, or they're going to lose this fan base.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, that ain't the main thing that matters. But you don't want to have division inside of the home games, bro. You don't want to have to hear boo birds and all that. Like you want to have a raucous environment for the home team. So I'm not really tripping about the defense. I think the defense is gonna do what they need to do. Like you said, Ryan Nielsen is gonna be the guy who makes adjustments. Arthur Smith and the offense is gonna have to pull their weight. But hopefully, being at home at home, just bring that out of them.
Right.
So, with that being said, I do have a little game for you.
All right.
With the rumors of these quarterbacks that if Ritter doesn't work out, I got a few names here I'm going to just throw out to you, and I want you to tell me what you think about how they would fit on the team.
Okay.
So, first up, Mr. Fields.
Ooh. Oh, man. Hey.
Matter of fact, you could just give me a 1 through 10 of how much you want it, being a 10, and how much you don't want it, and starting at like 0.
Okay.
So when it comes to Fields,
I would give him a 7, only because I know for a fact Arthur Smith would dial that play calling up just like he was dealing with a Mariota. But Justin Fields has an arm. So he's gonna use the weapons that's around him and distribute the rock wherever he needs to get it to. I see him being an athlete as a good thing for the offensive line as well, so he can get out of the pocket when he sees these different plays breaking down, or if he sees a running lane. We've seen him be able to take it the distance. He's a home guy. He's from here, so it would he'll put butts in the seats as well, and it'll be a good thing for us if we were to get him. I only want him 7 out of 10 because I still want to see what Cam Ritter do for us besides what he's already done.
Yeah, I put it at like a. I mean, as far as like if Ritter just doesn't work out, that would be like really the hypothetical for all these. But if Ritter wasn't to work out and like you tell me Fields, it really would depend on the trade package for him. Because honestly, I feel like the more the Bears lose, it's like he's gonna be out of there. I think they are gonna probably just get rid of everybody this season, and like having a number 1 pick and a number 2 pick overall, they prime to get Caleb and get Marvin Harrison Jr. So, his value should be pretty low, but it's not going to be a mid-season trade for him. Even if it is, like I doubt he play because how much knowledge could he really get of the playbook?
Nothing.
So I would love to see him in his offense because I feel like he's one of them guys. He just need to be on another system. I think his time in Chicago he's already burnt with them.
He's burnt, yeah.
So what about moving on to a veteran?
Kirk Cousins. Whew.
I'm gonna throw a 4 or 5 out there. Like I'm not really on that. Wait.
Yeah, just looking at Kirk Cousins' name, I'm just like, yeah, okay. I mean, don't bring that plaid swag to the A, man. You might get
jumped. Step his swag up if he come down here, but I don't know. Like he's a steady veteran presence back there. It ain't gonna be too much you show him that he hasn't seen, if anything. But I don't really think that's the direction this team need to go in.
Yeah, his mobility would also hinder him in his offense as well. With our offensive line.
What about old friend?
Matty? Hey, man. I'm gonna have to go with a 2, bro. Only because I know he gonna end up having to retire a Falcon, but that's the only time I want to see him back on this roster because
I feel like you bring Matt back, it would have to be this season. Like there's no bringing him back next year.
Yeah, exactly.
He's probably about the only guy you could bring in that actually know the system besides the dude I'll get to next. But honestly, I'd rather Matt just do what he's doing now. Like if we was gonna make that decision to bring him in, it was like
when he was here with our play script in his hand, that should have been then.
Right. Yeah, like you should have, because now it's like, man, Matt probably ain't even working out. Dude probably on the side, like knowing he retired for real.
Drinking beer.
What about Arthur Smith, old buddy, and Ryan?
Hell no. 0. Hey, stay where you at, buddy. Stay where you at. Your career is almost over. Don't worry.
Yeah,
just hold on. We're going home.
I'm not feeling that one.
Yeah.
What about Kyler from Arizona?
Can he see over our line of scrimmage? He can throw, but I mean, brother, you can't come here with a more harder, longer play call that's harder to learn and expect to thrive in this offense. That's hence the reason why they haven't pulled the plug on Ritter, really, because when Taylor Heineke first came to the Falcons, he said, yeah, the play calling is definitely harder to learn. It's a long play call. It's longer plays to call. And you still got to know checks and all that stuff too. So he would have to be an off-season acquisition and probably learn the whole play call. And you would have to literally sit there with him and teach him that play call with his pad. And then even when practice is over with, you still have to make sure he's there, right there with you on his pad, going through all the playbooks so that you know the time he spent on there, it wasn't just open and unlocked, just going through plays. Mm-hmm. Like, but nobody wants to have to hold him in, bro.
I don't think he locked in for real out there because I just feel like that ain't where he really want to be.
Right.
I think if he goes somewhere like with weapons like how we got, he probably would, because he's a hell of a player to me. But I don't know, like you said, it's the injuries. Can he come back and be that mobile guy? Because man, if he come back right now in this offense, like that's what you asked for right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, he got the arm, he got the mobility. It's about the ability to be a leader and really be that franchise. Like how Bills want you to be for real.
Yep.
What about having to go to the rookie way? Because honestly, like you said, I'm not seeing us being in contention really for a top guy like Drake May or Caleb Williams. Like,
yeah.
So I mean,
I think that the rookie quarterback class in 2024 is too deep, honestly. Like, and I'm not trying to foresee anything or anything like that, but if Ritter doesn't work out this season and they don't sign anybody as far as a quarterback and they be sorry for one more year, they're gonna wait on Shedeur to come out the league. But he's not just gonna be.
Smith can't wait. Like it's over.
Yeah.
If Ritter don't work and he don't go into the offseason with telling Mr. Blank clear plan, like I'm going to try to get a veteran or I'm going to try to get a rookie. Because honestly, like you could have just got a veteran this offseason and probably made the playoffs regardless.
Exactly.
Just because of but you decided to like ride with this guy thinking he would be the future, which that I don't have a problem with. That's your thought process or whatnot. But if he don't end up working out, I don't think it will cost you your job if you have a plan in case it doesn't work. But it's like you got to have a plan. These dudes we just listed off, I mean, only 2 of them are young, and you honestly could say. But it's like if Ritter don't work, Arthur Smith might not have the leeway to really go out there and get a possibility. Can he really bank on the potential of a Justin Fields or Kyler Murray?
Right.
Because if they come in and shit it up, he definitely gone.
Yep. Exactly.
And a rookie quarterback gonna be even more behind than them unless you just traded off for Caleb.
Exactly.
And then that's gonna cost. That's
and I don't think Terry's in the business of going bankrupt again for the Falcons. So
right. That's why Ritter need to work out because he's $1 million quarterback. So you got a cheap quarterback for years, and you can build this roster up so well that if he don't work, you can go get
this quarterback just got weapons.
So as we wrap it up here in these next 3 minutes ish, looking ahead with these next 6 games with Texans, really the next 4. We'll do the next 4 the next quarter. So you Texans, Commanders at home,
Tampa,
and then Tennessee on the road.
I plan on being in Tennessee for that game.
Where you see this? Where you see this season going? These next 4 games. Where would you like to see it go?
So, as far as the next 4, I believe that we should beat the Texans, and we should be able to handle the Commanders in a manner. Because another thing we didn't talk about was the addition of CP into the offense. People might overlook that, but if we have CP in either one of these games to offset some of the attention off of the other guys, if let's just say, for instance, Desmond Ritter just so happens to be able to throw the ball better to Patterson than anybody else or anything like that, or he has a clear safety valve in Patterson when he doesn't see anybody else there, then we know, like, hey, okay, then we'll be able to start spreading the ball around to everybody else. But like when people are able to just tee off on our offense, it's kind of hard to be like, okay, yeah, we can go in with this game plan, this mindset, but then you see 10 folks in the box and 1 person back in cover 0, and next thing you know, it's all out blitz every play because you know that quarterback is going to just sit there and take the sack instead of just throwing the ball away or getting out the pocket. So for the next 4 games, as long as our running game continues to get better as far as being the dominant force that it can be, and our passing game is competent to the run, I'm not going to say it's at its best or anything like that, but
They got to be complimentary to the run game.
yeah, they gotta
Give us a little threat. Give teams a little threat like they gonna throw the ball.
Right. I think you win at least 2 more out of these 4 games that's coming up. At least 2 more. Then you have 4-4, and you get yourself once again at 500. But then you have a stretch where a whole bunch of losing teams are coming up, and you start building confidence going toward the end of the season, where you're able to gain a little bit of traction before you get deeper into the division games that we play.
Yeah, I think they need to slick go 3-1 in this next stretch. Best case scenario to me.
Right. Best case scenario, we go 3-1. Worst case scenario, 2-2.
Yeah. And if there's anything lower than 2-2, then it's gonna be time to ask some questions about if you need to make a quarterback change or whatnot.
Pull the plug.
These next 2, and theoretically, to me in my head, you will win these next 2 and split the 2 on the road. Preferably beating Tampa, but losing to Tennessee, maybe. Just because you have to beat the divisional opponent. But like you said, even what you said, like getting into the easier part of the schedule, really, where the schedule ain't like all that strength of schedule stuff before the season start really don't matter because these teams start playing different once the season starts. Like the strength of schedule is based on the previous year. The team change, like even Houston.
Right.
Washington has been a high scoring team. Eric Bieniemy got those guys looking way different. Tampa Bay, like nobody thought they had a chance, and look how they looking right now. They first in the division.
Right.
Tennessee is still like they not as powerful as they was, but they still can beat you at. Like they just spanked the Bengals.
Yep.
And you got Minnesota, who even though their record is 1-3, but they still have the potential to beat you. Arizona's been playing hard. New Orleans and New York, the Jets, even without A-Rod, just took Mahomes and them to the limit. So it's like the Colts at 2-2, leading the AFC South right now. Chicago probably and then New Orleans again. But it's like all these games you're gonna have to play. So 3-1, I'll say. If you go anything less than 2-2 though, it's man, you're looking bad for real.
Seriously.
Wrapping it up here though. What's your thoughts on the division? As I pull up the standings, I know for a fact Tampa Bay is first right now. But what do you think about this division right now? Still got faith in the Falcons to win this division. How you see it's looking? Because Carolina.
Hold on one second. I think in our division we're doing good in our division so far, and I feel like we are able to. We're going to be able to contend for our division later on in the season. But I think if you're focused on just winning division games, that's when you lose the sense of where the tiebreakers and stuff like that come in, because like we always play good and play hard against our division opponents and stuff like that. But you still see like there are certain games that we win that other teams lose that have us ahead of the Saints, because say the Saints beat the Packers.
They lost to the Packers. Yep. Right.
Yep.
So
that's an instance of a tiebreaker. The Packers play the Panthers. If the Panthers were anywhere near contention right now,
we ain't got to worry about Carolina right now. They kind of they dead already. So it's a 3-team race for real, which we said it would be, honestly.
Yep. And now seeing this, we have to give ourselves an outlook on who really is going to be there at the end of the season when we're playing those to be determined games that are going to determine the NFC South. Where, like, are we going to be that last wild card team, or are we going to be that team that's winning the division that's at number 4? Because honestly, I mean, if Tampa Bay stays playing the way that they're playing, whoever wins the division could potentially be the number 3 or number 2 seed, depending on the outcomes of the next 4 games. We'll start seeing like, okay, Tampa Bay might drop the next 2 or next 3 out of 4, and then we're asking questions about them. But the Falcons might win the next 2 or 3 out of 4, and then we're like, okay, so whatever team has the best record in the NFC, which is the Eagles right now being undefeated, and the 49ers being one game under. The 3 and 4 seed is really where you're seeing the NFC South team that's coming out being projected. So we got to really think about that as far as like coming out of division on the last part.
Yeah, I think right now it's a bit early to look at your division standings, even though you still want to keep like pace with the other teams in your division. But like you said, you can't keep looking at the division and thinking about them like we're gonna have to take care of our business. Like these next 2 games we got are not a division game, and one of them is an out of conference game. We still need to rack these dubs up. Like you said, though, it is good to beat teams that you share on the schedule with your division rivals. Like the Green Bay game was a good game to win. Carolina was a good game to win because they're in the division, even though they're, like you said, not really contending like much. But as you can see, like everybody in our division slipping with the last, like we lost the last 2. New Orleans lost the last 2. Tampa Bay on a 1-game streak. I believe Tampa Bay got a bye week this week already, though. So we'll see how that come into factor with the season. But I still have faith of us winning the division. But like I said, these next 4 games, this next quarter of the season will be a huge chunk of what we're going to end up being this season.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's not possible to turn it around after these next 4 games, but like I said, these first 4 games, okay, cool. We'll give y'all the leeway of that was y'all preseason. Now let's ramp it up now. And I think the 4 games that we play are favorable matchups for us to do just that.
Exactly.
So that's all I had for today. Hopefully, I know me and you both going to the game Sunday, so hopefully we be walking out of there with a dub and not getting walked out by those Houston guys.
Exactly.
But yeah, y'all guys like, comment, subscribe.
Sir, peace up. 8 times down, baby.
With the post game reaction afterwards.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.